All right, y'all. So I just wanted to give you an explanation, a little bit further of an explanation on what it is that you should be thinking about when you're playing these etudes, as well as how to break it down whenever you're working through them on your own, okay? So until we get to the triplets, the first like 20 of these etudes is based off of these four partials, right? Either your quarter rest, your eighth rest, your quarter note, your eighth note, your quarter rest, or your eighth rest, right? So it's gonna be one of these four things that gets you to figure out the etude. Couple quick reminders. One quarter note is equal to two eighth notes, right? And then one quarter rest is equal to two eighth rests. I'm not too sure that this etude particularly worries about more than one eighth note, eighth rest, but just in case. So here we go. Whenever you're doing this type of syncopated rhythm study, you should really think about the fundamental bar as eighth notes throughout the entire thing, right? So when you're looking at it, you should think about one te, two te, three te, four te, right? And I'm gonna use the little plus signs. Oh my goodness. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so this is a full bar of eighth notes. This isn't what you play at the beginning, but this is what you should think about whenever you're figuring out what it is that you need to play and what beats it is that you need to play on, okay? So now let's take this and plug that into what the first bar is, okay? So that first bar looks like this, right? We've got an eighth note out the gate. That's on beat 1. We've got a quarter note. We've got another eighth note. Then we've got 4 eighth notes afterwards, okay? So what you should do is figure out the math of this bar and how it fits into this bar, and then those are the beats of what you're gonna play on, okay? So like I said, out the gate, the first one that you need to worry about is the anchor, beat 1. Beat 1 is on the downbeat. You play it, it's not a rest, so this is on 1, all right? So boom, we check this one off. And then the next note up is that upbeat of 2, upbeat of 1. So what do you play on? You play on the end of 1. Now, like I said up here, quarter note equals 2 eighth notes. So you have 2 eighth notes here, right? The end of 1 and the downbeat of 2. And that's what this quarter note's gonna take the space of. So we're gonna get that 2, put in little parentheses because it exists in time, but you're not going to play it. So then you've got beat 1 taken care of, the end of 1 taken care of, and beat 2 taken care of. So then what is the next beat option for you to play on? The end of 2, right? So then you have the and of 2, and then you have 3 and 4 and, right? This looks exactly like that, so therefore you're gonna count it and play it exactly as if you were to play just a bar of straight eighth notes, right? So boom, now every single eighth note has been accounted for in this measure. Simple enough, right? So the next bar, let's talk about it. Similar phrasing. We've got the eighth note on the downbeat, a quarter note, another eighth note, and then we have the quarter note on beat 3, followed by a quarter rest, all right? So we do the same math. Beat 1 is an eighth note. Check, taken care of. The next option is that upbeat. So you got that upbeat of 1 and, okay? And then, again, the quarter note takes the space of 2 eighth notes. So you have the end of 1 and the downbeat of 2. Check, check. So, a downbeat of 2, boom, boom. And then the next option for that eighth note is that upbeat. So we have the upbeat of 2, end of 2. Then again, quarter beat equals 2 eighth notes. So 3 ands is taken care of. You play on beat 3, but it's taking up the space by this quarter note. Same deal. We have this quarter rest on beat 4, and because we got to take up the space of these 2 eighth notes, quarter rest, 1 quarter note, quarter rest equals the same as 2 quarter notes, 2 eighth notes, and 2 eighth rests, right? So those are taken care of. Those are in parentheses because you don't actually play them. Now, one last thing that we need to talk about is what a tie does to a note. So I'm looking for a 1. So this is bar 6. Excuse me, let's talk about bar 5. So we've got a quarter note, we've got an eighth rest, eighth note, eighth note, quarter note. Then we have this eighth note tied to the downbeat of the next bar. And then we'll put the next beat as well. Okay? So, let's do the math. B1, the anchor, we got that taken care of. Again, how many eighth notes does a quarter note take up? 2. So the upbeat of 1 taken care of with that quarter note. Then what do we have on the next? So go back, boom, 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 right? So nobody's confused. So I'll check off on the bottom end this time. So we got 1 and taken care of. The next beat available in the bar is that beat 2. What do we have on beat 2? We have that eighth rest. So we're gonna put 2 in parentheses. All right, taken care of. Now what's the next option for you to play on? The end of 2. All right. So you're gonna play on the end of 2. 1 eighth note equals 1 eighth note. So then the next option up in the bar is gonna be that beat 3. Again, eighth note. So 1 for 1, taken care of. Then we've got the upbeat. Again, quarter note equals 2 eighth notes. So you're gonna play on the end of 3, and this end of 3 is gonna take up the space of that beat 4. Okay? Boom, boom. What are you left with? That and of 4. All right, so we got 1, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now, what does the tie do? What does the tie do to a note? It takes up the space of the note that it's tied to, but it still counts for it, right? So you don't play on the note the note is tied to. So you're gonna play on the upbeat of 4, but you're not gonna play on the downbeat of 1 because it's tied to this note. So then this might as well, this is the same thing as if you just had an eighth rest here with no tie. It means the same thing. So then you have the upbeat of 4 followed by the upbeat of 1. Okay? So, moral of the story, if ever you are confused by what a bar has as far as what the rhythm is, all you need to do is fill out the bar entirely with the eighth notes and figure out the math of what beat goes on what takes what part of the bar, and then go through it like that. As always, if you guys have any questions, holler at me. More than willing to help.